Scores of people were killed in the holy city of Mecca on Friday when a construction crane collapsed into the Grand Mosque during a violent rainstorm, Saudi officials said. By late Friday, more than 100 people were reported dead and dozens injured, according to local officials. The accident comes only days before the start of the annual Hajj pilgrimage, which is expected to bring more than 2 million religious tourists to Saudi Arabia. More than 500,000 pilgrims already have arrived to the kingdom in preparation for the event. The governor of Mecca, Prince Khalid Al Faisal, has ordered an urgent investigation into the accident, Saudi state television said. The Grand Mosque is Islam's holiest site. Construction on the mosque is part of the Saudi government's plan to expand it to host even more visitors, bringing its capacity to 2.3 million. Thousands of pilgrims have been killed in Hajj accidents in the past, most of them related to overcrowding and stampedes. In 2006, 346 people were killed in a stampede on a bridge.
We're continuing to follow a deadly crane collapse at the Grand Mosque in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Saudi defense officials say at least 65 people are dead and 80 injured. Here's some video that was just put on YouTube by a witness. Terrible. Our thoughts and prayers with those who lost their lives and those injured. This tragedy comes ahead of the Muslim annual Hajj pilgrimage later this month. That's when millions of devout Muslims are expected to visit Saudi Arabia.
Hundreds of people were inside the Grand Mosque when tons of construction machinery came crashing down. As the crane toppled over, it broke through the roof of the building. Underneath, hundreds of people were praying. They stood no chance of escape. From the other side, these grainy images give an idea of the stormy weather outside. You can see just how far the crane arm fell, and the panic people felt even outside the mosque. People inside couldn't have seen it coming. One witness who spoke to Al Jazeera on the phone shortly after said he almost died.
I escaped it very, very narrowly. Nobody had a clue what happened. If I have to just compare the situation, it was like a bomb blast. When a bomb blasts,
Emergency crews were dealing with the hundreds of dead and injured for hours.
The
incident happened at 5:23 p.m. due to the severe rain and wind speed as high as 83 kilometers. This caused a tower crane to collapse, causing a number of deaths and injuries.
Many people have already begun to gather for the annual Hajj pilgrimage. It's the busiest time of year in Mecca. Saudi authorities say they've launched an investigation, but the religious proceedings will go ahead.
I would like to convey the condolences of the custodian of the two holy mosques and the Crown Prince and all the officials in this state to the families involved in this painful incident.
There's construction all around the Grand Mosque. Cranes surround the complex, part of a multi-billion-dollar expansion project. The sheer number of people converging on Mecca each year creates security and logistical challenges. In the past, that's resulted in deadly stampedes. Safety measures have since been upgraded. This accident may have happened during high winds and rains, but it could still force a safety review during construction work at Islam's holiest site. Caroline Malone, Al Jazeera.
The Governor, Prince Khalid Al Faisal, sent the findings for presentation to the Saudi King Salman. The King visited the site of the accident on Saturday and vowed to find the cause. A construction crane fell and crashed into the Grand Mosque during Friday prayers, killing 111 people and injuring more than 300. Nationalities of most of those killed have still not been revealed, but they included Indonesians, Indians and a Thai. Officials said preliminary findings suggested high winds caused the crane to topple over.
In Islam's most sacred site at Mecca, a huge crane crashes down onto thousands of pilgrims below. On the east side of the Grand Mosque, the terrifying sound of impact echoes. The screams and shouts for help of those trapped under and near the collapsed crane fill the air. The scale of lives lost soon became clear as the emergency services set about retrieving the victims' bodies from the scene. The crane was part of building works to increase the area open to the large number of pilgrims who come to Mecca every year. Those numbers have resulted in several tragedies over the years, including a stampede in 2006 that killed nearly 350 people. Mecca is preparing for the annual Hajj pilgrimage in 2 weeks. Heavy storms over recent days are being blamed by the authorities for tonight's crane disaster. Neil Connery, ITV News.
A crane has collapsed in the Muslim holy city of Mecca, killing at least 87 people, according to Saudi authorities. Some 183 more have been injured after the crane crashed down onto the Grand Mosque, apparently smashing through the roof. The mosque was crowded at the time. Emergency services are at the scene and the area has been cordoned off. Mecca is preparing to host hundreds of thousands of people for the annual Hajj pilgrimage. Images circulating on social media show pilgrims at the site wearing robes covered in blood, surrounded by masses of debris.